Had my first car when I was 12 years old. The cars have probably been the biggest part of my life, right from a youngster on up. The time I was into high school, I was into it hot and heavy, and I gathered up cars everywhere. I used to get cars that people had got discouraged with and bring them in and fix them up and sell them. And in those days, if you made $75 on one, you thought you'd really done well. So that's the way it went. Pretty well learned to do everything on my own because that's the way it is. And as far as the arm goes, it's been a help. It's not a drawback. I can do just about anything I want to do with it. And if I've welded something that's red hot, I don't need to run for a pair of pliers. I can just reach down, pick it up, and go with it. So in a lot of respects, it's been pretty handy. Not really a handicap, it's just a variety. Basically, it's all in your mind, how you handle it. First year out of high school, September of '57. I was working for the fur breeders here in Cache Valley. They make mink feed, and I got caught in a big hogger and ground it off. And I never did let it slow me down. If you keep a good attitude and keep a good work ethic, there's really nothing you can't do. It's not really a drawback, it's just a way of life. My brother and a cousin built this shop in 1957, and I've done all my work here, all the rough and the welding, and move them into the paint shop to paint them and assemble them back in here. It goes on and on. This is the trunk lid for the car I'm making, and it's made with a piece of 3/8 square tubing around the edge, 20 gauge metal on the top, reinforcements for the hinges, and a trunk lid. And unfortunately, when you get done putting it all together, you end up with what we call an oil can effect. Why they call it an oil can is that's how you used to pump oil out of the old tin cans. You push the bottom and they flexed in and out, and they actually pumped. You don't want that on a surface. It's got to be solid. So when I shrink it by the welding method, that's for small, minute areas. And I've used this washer method, so I've got a little thicker method to put the heat to it. Then you just quench it with a cold wet rag, and it shrinks the metal up, and it takes the excess metal out of the surface so it don't oil can back and forth. This car here is one of the last ones I put together from scratch, which it runs 2 motors. I got 2 V8 motors in this one, end for end. You feel the push, the acceleration sets you back in the seat, and it feels like a real accomplishment when you can win a race. I still have trophies from those days.
Del and I have been married 41 years. I've kind of known who he was since I was a kid. Well, Del was the car guy. Del was the car guy in Logan that drug Maine and raced between the stop signs back when you could. We're not joined at the hip. It probably wouldn't work for a lot of other couples, but it works for us. I've had lots of people say, how do you put up with it? He is one of the nicest people I've ever known. He's always like that. There's not a public Del and a private Del. He is who he is, which I find rare. I got the jackpot. So I married the car guy. I knew that. And he'll be the car guy forever.